Welcome to today's webinar, Talent Dynamics for Young People. It's really a discovery session to help you to find out a little bit more about what Talent Dynamics for Young People is, a little bit about who I am and why I kind of started all this stuff and where it's gone in the last 4 years since I had my epiphany in a conference room in Bali. And also I'll share with you towards the end of the webinar how you can get involved at any level, from just being a raving fan all the way through to coming and doing some training, some workshops with us face to face, and all sorts of things in between. So let me begin, if I may, at the start of my journey with working with young people. And it all began with myself as a young person, and a decision that I made very early on that actually had a huge impact in my life. At the age of 4, I made a decision that I was not good enough. And I'll not share all the details of that with you, but suffices to say that that one belief was so strong that I had no confidence, very little self-worth, and I settled for second best in everything because I truly believed I was not good enough. It impacted on every single area of my life, and my life became a series of quite spectacular disasters as a result. Again, not going to go into detail here. Believe me, quite spectacular disasters. And through all of those years, right up into my adulthood, until I was nearly 40 years old, for goodness sakes, that one strong belief really affected everything that I did and how I felt. I was painfully shy as a result of that. And not in all those years, nearly 40 years, did anybody share with me, just be yourself, you're wonderful as you are. I really didn't know that. And so when I finally got to learn that, when I see young people today growing up, maybe believing they too are not good enough or not worthy or not good enough to be loved or whatever that belief is, then when I see young people feeling that way, for me, that's really painful. It's like looking in a mirror, and it brings back all of those emotions and memories of how that felt all those years ago. And me with my one belief, my one rubbish belief, by the way, and the impact that had. And I look at young people today and the additional factors that contribute to knocking self-worth, self-esteem, confidence, and finding their vision and direction. And I'll just kind of I'm going to read out all the slides, but you can see some of the impact that a lack of confidence and direction is having for our young people around the world today. There's statistics that are heartbreaking, but more than that, there are real people at the heart of these statistics. This is so many young people just really trying to discover, where do I fit in? So who am I? Where am I meant to be? All of these facts and factors, plus beyond that, opportunities that don't even exist yet that we're trying to prepare our young people for. Did you know, employment challenges, not just lack of jobs? They believe that there are plenty of jobs out there. Maybe you can create your own jobs and become an entrepreneur. But also the fact that in 5 years' time, 50% of the roles that will be there for young people do not exist today. So how are you going to prepare for a world of work that isn't even there yet? That's really challenging for our young people. And so are we preparing them for jobs that are going to disappear? So I think it's really important that young people get to discover who they really are. Am I good enough? Damn right I'm good enough. I did discover that belief was a lie, and I cannot stand back and watch young people today believe those lies and have that impact like I do. So my journey through not good enough brought me to a place on my life tipping all over the floor. Thank you, universe, for doing that. It was really painful at the time, but very necessary. Thank goodness, because I got to pick up the pieces. And my life changed massively as I started to discover who I really was. I immersed in a world of personal development and then started to teach it and learn more about it, and became a coach. And I've been coaching and teaching for the last 14 years. And I love that I get to take my skills and impact and empower people to change their lives as well. My journey, having started a business 10 years ago, and my business is growing and expanding, I was introduced to talent dynamics at a time when I actually was looking to simplify my businesses and take things out, not put things in. I get a call from Talent Dynamics. They say we're looking to partner with training organisations who are already well established and looking to deliver something extra into businesses. Would you be interested? I actually said, I've never heard of you. I really don't know if I'm interested. Please tell me more. And so they told me more. I thought, well, that's quite curious. I've done these psychometric profile things in the past. I don't know whether I want to take anything like that on, but well, they offered me a free profile, so I thought, well, I might as well. I had my free profile. I had a debrief or a coaching session with the person who at that point ran Talent Dynamics. And oh my gosh, I was so blown away by what I learned in that 1 hour. Like one little piece that was five minutes long transformed the way that I thought about questions and how I could move forward in my business. It was really quite profound. So that was it. I was in. I go do my training. I learn how to coach talent dynamics in business. I learn how to run workshops. And I find myself about 6 months later in a conference room in Bali, going to learn how to embed talent dynamics in its business development pathway into the businesses that I worked with. That whole thing, like the reason that you came is not the reason that you're here, became very true for me that day in Bali. November 2012, we're asking the room, why are you here? What is your purpose? What is your business? I realised that everything in my journey had brought me to that point. The universe had conspired to bring me to that point in my life, in my journey, in that conference room in Bali. And when I was challenged, why am I here? What are you going to focus on? I realised that my purpose for being on this whole planet was to work with young people and make a difference with young people. And I told my story about being 4 years old and making a poor decision and the impact that had. And I spoke about my reason behind wanting to work with young people was because of all the challenges I just shared with you. And as I was talking, I realised, TJ, you can talk about the problems. It will never make a jot of difference, right? You won't change anything just by talking. In this moment, in this conference room, in Bali, you need to make a decision. You either have to shut up or stand up, take action and be counted. And so I decided to stand and be counted. I said to Michelle, if you want somebody to do talent dynamics for schools, which they kind of had that idea on the back burner, I am not interested, not your girl. I don't have an education background. I don't have that reputation with schools. And I'm not part of that culture. If you give me talent dynamics for young people, and it can be about young people of any age, of any background, of any need, then I'm in. As long as you allow me to train other people to work with talent dynamics for young people, because there's only one me, there are millions of young people around this planet, and I can't get to them all. I need to grow a team to impact on as many young people around the planet as we possibly can. Bless her heart, she found a way for me to do that. And so in that moment, 4.5 years ago now, in Bali, Talent Dynamics for Young People was born. Right from the very start, my mission with that was to be the number one personal development pathway to empower tomorrow's leaders, really to boost their confidence, increase their self-worth, give them vision and direction for their futures so that they could take control of their own futures. I don't know about you during your teenage years, but I certainly felt like a square peg in a round hole, right? A familiar expression. But I really did. I really felt like I didn't fit in. I was a bit of a loner and I was painfully shy, I remember, and all these things. And I just really wanted to have friends and fit in. And I tried to fit in over here and it didn't quite feel right. And tried to fit in with this group and that wasn't quite right either. And it's uncomfortable when you don't know where you fit. And you're also going through that time where people are beginning to ask you, what do you want to do when you grow up? Oh my gosh, as if you know when you're in your teens. And you feel as if you're pushed in one direction by parents, pulled in another direction by teachers, well-meaning careers advice, even though my experience of that is it's not always great careers advice. And then you're listening to what your friends are saying and what their mums and dads are telling them and what their decisions are. And you just feel like a puppet on a string. You don't even know who's pulling the strings. Talent Dynamics for Young People teaches young people exactly who they are, what they are naturally gifted and talented at, so that they can find where they fit in. So you can be a round peg in a round hole, comfortable in your own skin, knowing where you add value as an individual or as a team player, so that not only can you add value, but that's where you will feel valued. What a great boost to confidence and self-worth. So now you get to not only fit in, you get to stand out for all the right reasons. I really believe that Talent Dynamics for Young People as a personal development pathway for our young people is a way to unlock their confidence, self-worth, and their potential in this world, allowing them to discover, as I said, what each of them is naturally gifted and talented at, because we are all naturally gifted and talented. We really are, and that reminds me, I was doing a school assembly on Monday last week, and a young lady came up and asked the question, how can we all be gifted and talented? Not all of us are gifted and talented. I said, I can assure you you are. She said, no, I'm sorry. In this school, we have a gifted and talented list. And if your name is not on the gifted and talented list, you are not gifted and talented. How heartbreaking is that? Seriously. Is that what our schools, a message our schools are giving our kids, that you have to be on, your name has to be on a list for you to be naturally gifted and talented? That's heartbreaking. I don't think so. Because according to Einstein, we are all geniuses, every single one of us. And yet, love this quote, if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing it's stupid. That is exactly what we do to young people in school, creating a list for gifted and talented, for goodness sakes. But we are all geniuses. We just have different geniuses. So let's stop judging them all by academic genius. What about our athletic geniuses, our musical geniuses, our acting geniuses, our, oh my gosh, poetic geniuses, our geniuses that love to just go find the detail and do the research? Like, we are all geniuses. Buckminster Fuller said, everyone is born a genius. But unfortunately, like, the process of living de-geniuses them. I really think that does start at school, not allowing everybody to appreciate we don't need to judge everybody by the same standard. So let's stop doing that and allow people to know, am I good enough? Damn right I'm good enough. And I teach our young people, like, if you have that thought like, oh, but I'm not good enough, you're damn right I'm good enough. You have to say it with attitude. So let's allow our young people to discover their geniuses. So according to the ancient Chinese, who were very clever doing this personal development stuff like 5,000 years ago, we all have a fundamental basic right to live our lives in flow, doing what we love, loving what we do, what comes naturally to us. Not going to go into a lot of detail with flow today, but it's a really important piece of the puzzle. According to the ancient Chinese, there were 4 geniuses, or there are 4 geniuses in the energies. So which genius are you? Let me share some geniuses with you. Maybe you could like keep a little note of like which is most like me, put a little tick by everything that I say, so that when you get to the end of it, you'll kind of have an idea of which is your genius. So we're just going to keep this at energy level right now. The first of the geniuses is a Dynamo Genius. Dynamo Geniuses are all about innovation, and they're very intuitive. They just have a knowing about things. So our Dynamo Geniuses are full of ideas. They have lots of ideas all the time. Some of our Dynamo Geniuses are very inventive. Some of them are very creative. Some of them just have lots of ideas about other stuff. Maybe that's projects, maybe it's music, maybe it's poetry. Who knows? They just have lots of ideas. They are very fast-paced, very high energy. They run a million miles an hour. They're really impatient. They can't wait to like plan it all out. Oh my gosh, that's a bit torturous doing all that planning. They just roll the sleeves, get stuck in, and wing it all the way. If it doesn't work out, that's okay. They'll come out with an innovative solution to try again. Our Dynamo Geniuses are great at starting things, and because they have so many ideas, they start lots of new things. They love all things new, and so will get involved with things when they're in that very early stage. So starting so many things, they're really good at spinning plates and multitasking. However, spinning too many plates and multitasking too much means that they're very scattered in their focus. They start something and then, oh my gosh, that's like shiny penny. Oh my gosh, shiny penny, there's another new thing. Let's go do that. Oh, shiny penny, there's another new thing. And they forgot the thing that they just started. So great at starting things, hopeless at finishing things. They've either gone on to the new thing and forgotten, or it's not new. The novelty has worn off and they're bored now. I need something new to inspire me again. And they are very inspiring. They come up with new ideas and they're very, very visionary. They are head in the clouds, are daydreamers that can visualize into the future. And they are able to inspire other people to see that vision. And they go, oh my gosh, let's go do that. Are you in? Everybody goes, oh my gosh, yeah, we're definitely in. Our Dynamo Geniuses run off a million miles an hour. They've nearly finished. They turn around and look back. They go, what? You've already started? I thought you were in this with me, guys. But I've nearly finished. Oh, for goodness sakes, forget it. I can do it faster and better myself. So they have very high expectations of themselves and other people and can be very disappointed when people can't keep up with them. And so that means they're very reluctant often to ask for help. So watch out for our young Dynamo Geniuses struggling, not asking for help. They have great perspective. They're really good at the big picture. For them, it's like being in a helicopter, having a whole view of the city. They can't see into the shop windows and wave to the people in the cars or read the signs on the street, but they have a great overview. Allow them to share the overview. If you start to give them too much detail, they will get lost in the detail and switch off. Our Dynamo Geniuses learn best by seeing. They're very visual. So this is really important for our young people. How are we helping them to learn when we're in the classroom or at home or during a project or as they transition into a workplace? Dynamo Geniuses have to see to learn. When somebody's talking, they turn the words into pictures. Sometimes, though, they can't. It's not a still picture; it's a movie, and the movie is running in their head, of course. So they have to keep up with the movie. Either they'll speak really quickly because the movie is running, or they're turning words into the movie really quickly to keep up with the movie. If somebody is talking, and there is nothing to see, our Dynamo Geniuses lose their track. They can't turn those pictures into the movie quick enough. The screen goes blank. They forget where they were. Then something catches their attention out the window that's interesting to look at, and then they get told off for not paying attention. So we need to support our Dynamo Geniuses as they learn and as they study by sharing with them. This is how you learn best. Take responsibility if your teacher doesn't teach that way. You've got homework that's not necessarily visual. Use colour, use bullet points, big picture thinking, draw mind maps, diagrams, doodles, use post-it notes. use different colours in your notes, like whatever it takes so that you can see it. Use your imagination to bring things to life. That's exactly how our Dynamo Geniuses learn best. Had a Dynamo Genius who was struggling a little bit with maths, and her mum got her a private tutor, shared her visual learning preference style with the tutor. So instead of doing maths black and white on paper, calculations, etc., the tutor took this young lady every week during their session. They go on a little adventure in her imagination. They go to the circus and they go to the fun fair. And the people would be the numbers, and the tickets could be, price of the tickets could be part of an equation. And they just brought it to life. In 1 year, that young lady increased her grades by 3 grades just by learning how she learns best. So this stuff is like really powerful. So are you a Dynamo Genius? Do you have Dynamo Geniuses around you? Either your own Dynamo Geniuses or maybe kids that you work with. Maybe not. Maybe you have Blaze Geniuses. Blaze Geniuses are warm, friendly, passionate, can be a little bit fiery. They are our people. Blaze Geniuses very extrovert in the way they show up as well. So our Blaze Geniuses love to be in a team. They'll lead a team, follow a team, as long as they're in the team and it's the best team. They will be the young people who they just love to be around people. They love to be with their mates at school all day, and then they'll have to go out and play all evening or connect with people or ring them up or however they communicate via the internet these days. They are like little cheerleaders. They see the potential in the people around them and they just want to support them and nurture them and cheer them on and bring that potential out because that'll be best for the team. Our Blaze Geniuses love to talk, love to listen, love to talk more than they like to listen usually. So these will be the young people that just constantly talk all day long. They can talk about nothing. They're really good. They make great spokespeople. So great roles for our Blaze Geniuses is being able to present, to network, to talk, to go in meetings and represent things and be the spokesperson. And they are really good at selling and marketing as they go into the world of work or managing teams, bringing the right people together for a team. They love to be around people all day. They will be the kids that are in all the after school groups and projects and team building stuff. They'll just love it. The worst place you can put a Blaze Genius all by themselves in a quiet room with a spreadsheet and lots of data to entry on a regular basis, that will bore them stupid. They will be tearing their hair out. They're extrovert in terms of where they make their decisions and how they get their energy. To make a decision, they will use people as a sounding board and ask other people's opinions first. To recharge their energy, they will want to connect with people and get their energy from other people. So our Blaze Geniuses most definitely are our party people. They love to socialise. Blaze Geniuses learn best by hearing. So it's all about talking and listening. And as they talk and they listen, they like to discuss things. They need to be able to debate. They need to ask questions. If in a classroom they're not told when they can ask questions, they'll be the one constantly interrupting to ask questions. If they're not allowed to discuss and debate, and it's like you will sit and listen, no talking, they'll be the ones that have no choice, but they have to turn to the person next to them and have a bit of a side chat, and then they get told off for talking in class. So our Blaze Geniuses need to be given some direction of, yes, you can ask questions. This is where you can ask them. We're going to have a discussion in a minute to share ideas. They'll be like, oh my gosh, I love discussing. When they're learning by themselves, that's the worst place they can be, right? If they are revising or doing homework, they need study groups. They need that interaction again and use people as a sounding board. The worst thing you can do to somebody revising for an exam who's a Blaze Genius is go, okay, turn the TV off and turn the music off. I don't know how you revise and concentrate with that noise on. Go sit by yourself in your room in silence and study. Like, what are you doing to our Blaze Geniuses? That will torture them. They kind of need that background music. The best way they'll learn is probably by putting the words to music creating their own lyrics around something with a song that they really love, recording it, listening it back, having study groups. So, are you a Blaze genius? Did that describe you? Or maybe your kids or kids that you work with? Yeah, I'm just wondering that. If the answer's no, you didn't discover your genius yet, or your young people's genius, maybe that's because you're not Blaze and you're not Dynamo. Maybe your genius is in tempo. Tempo geniuses, now we're moving around the seasons and the energies and we're slowing things down. We're not running a million miles an hour. We are going to take our time and make sure that things are on time and that the timing is right. Tempo geniuses, very time driven. They're very sensory based, which means they navigate their world through their senses, but particularly by how things feel. So our tempo geniuses, not head in the clouds like our dynamo geniuses. They're like, what the heck? You come up with these new ideas, you want us to run off a million miles an hour, like join on board. You haven't even demonstrated it works yet. So just slow down, show me the evidence. For our tempo geniuses, seeing is believing. It's like, where's the proof? Show me the proof. They are grounded, very down to earth. They are really great at noticing the detail about people. They care about people. You can see there the 5-star customer service or customer care. So where our Blaze geniuses will go and take the messages to the people and be the spokesperson, our tempo geniuses will look after people. They will go out of their way to put people first and make sure that people are feeling valued, looked after, taken care of. To the point of sometimes they'll do that to their own detriment. They put others before they'll put themselves, so you have to watch they don't become martyrs. They're really good in caring services as well. So hospitality, caring industries, nurses, carers, nursery teachers, paramedics, anything that has like really care about people, or retail where you give great customer service or looking after suppliers and customers within a business. Our tempo geniuses are really great at noticing when somebody isn't feeling quite right and knowing exactly what to do about it. Whereas our Blaze geniuses like to have lots and lots and lots of friends, it's about the quantity of relationships. Our tempo geniuses would rather have fewer friends but a better quality and depth of relationship, and they will nurture long-term friendships and relationships. They're really good at planning. They'll like to know everything is planned so that when they're going to do what, and getting other people to do the right thing at the right time. So they are great implementers. They get stuff done. And they have a really strong sense of fairness and justice. If it's not fair, get out of the way, because they will fight for fairness. If you hear the kids go, yeah, but that's not fair, maybe there's some tempo genius in there. Our tempo geniuses definitely will be noticing what's going on around them. So they will be looking for that detail around people. They are the ones that can see into the shop windows and wave to people in the cars. They will be noticing how people feel. The way that they learn is by doing. They're very what we call kinesthetic. So you can show me how to bake a cake and you can tell me how to bake a cake. Well, let me bake the damn cake. Oh, thank goodness for that. Now I understand how to do it. Now I know what it feels like. So it has to be very experiential learning, role plays, practical exercises, walkthroughs, and then the doing for our kinesthetic learners. If you talk at them all the time and you just show them pictures, they're never going to grasp it. Let them actually get on, stuck in, hands-on, experience it and experiment with it. So did you find your genius yet? Or the genius of those people around you? If not, maybe that's because you are a steel genius. So our final of the 4 geniuses is our steel genius. Steel geniuses are very data and analysis driven, and they are opposite to our Blaze geniuses. They're much more on the introvert side. of things. So our steel geniuses like a lot of structure. They like to be in control and they like a lot of certainty. So they will want to dot the I's, cross the T's, tick the boxes, do the research, find the detail. They're looking for the detail in the numbers and the systems and love to analyse things. So sometimes it takes them a long time to make a decision because they have to go away and research it and find all the detail about it and analyse it before finally they can make their mind up to do something. They will never be spontaneous, not like these flipping Dynamo Geniuses. Oh my gosh, they freak me out, loose cannons. They will be very much more methodical and meticulous. They will want to know, where's the data, where's the detail? Give me the facts, give me the figures. Is there a process? Is there a system? Is there a structure to it? Can we analyse that? Can we put it into some sort of process? Can we maximise it? Is it efficient? They will always want to make sure that it is very structured. They're very organised. They're very attention to detail as far as the data and the pennies are concerned. And so you'll find a lot of scientists, accountants, financial people, operations, logistics people where it's about systems and structure are great steel geniuses. They often will put data before people. That is their main first thought. So can be accused of being antisocial. You always put, to you we're just a number. What about the people? Oh, yeah, sorry, they do care about the numbers first. They can feel quite socially awkward. Being around too many people, particularly people they don't know that are talking chit chat, is like really stressful for our steel geniuses. They're like, these people with all that blaze energy, like they talk all day long, like they could talk for England. What the heck do they talk about? They talk about nothing. What is all this chit chat? Get to the point. Thank you. I've got the point. I'll go back and be by myself. So our steel geniuses, when they want to make a decision, they don't need to go and ask people's opinions. They've got the facts, they've got the details, they make their mind up. Thank you very much. When they need to get re-energized, recharge their energy, they will go and be by themselves. Go be quiet somewhere, go read a book, go for a walk, watch a movie, play the computer, whatever it is. When they be by themselves and recharge, now they can face the world again. It's not that they have social anxiety disorder. They just don't like being around people, particularly when they need to go recharge. It's just who they are. Sometimes we're made wrong for the very things that are our greatest gifts. Have you ever noticed that? So our steel geniuses learn best with logic. It has to make sense. They're what we call auditory digital. It needs to be rational. It needs to be logical. It needs to make sense. Let me be able to work it out. Oh, I get it now. I understand. That makes sense. So allow them to go and do their own research. Allow them to go and get extra detail and data. Anything that it takes, they will want so much detail that you can't give it to the rest of the class because you would just blow the pants off everybody else. But they have to have that certainty around the information. You also need to give them some structure because they will overanalyze things. These are the young people that you give them a project or some homework to do. You need to give them boundaries because otherwise they'll end up doing such a great job on one bit, they run out of time and don't get the rest finished. So if they are given a project or some homework or something like that, you need to say, okay, you spend no more than 15 minutes on part 1. I want no more than 5 A4 sides on part 2, etc. Yeah, so they know how deep to go. That will give them a lot more of the structure that they need. So did you find your genius or the genius of the young people around you? I'm curious about that. What were they? Were they dynamo, about innovation and very visionary? Were they blaze geniuses, all about the people in the team and being spokespeople? Were they tempo geniuses who really care about people and are great at doing, making sure that people are doing the right thing at the right time and that it's fair? Or do you have steel geniuses who are much better at measurements and controls and costs and detail and structure? The scientific I can't say that word, analysts, financial analysts, the computer geniuses in the data and the coding and the meticulous attention to detail. I wonder which ones you've already spotted. And of course, we don't have time today in this webinar, but as well as having the geniuses, you might have noticed that you'll be a blend. Of course, we're not all just one, and this is not a labeling tool. We are a blend of energies, but we usually have one that is most like us. That's where we will find our flow, as I mentioned earlier. And some of you might be thinking, well, I can see me like I can't choose between two. That might be correct also, because as well as having the 4 energies or geniuses, there are actually 8 talent dynamics for young people, profiles or characters that operate within those energies as well. And so it might be that we have some young people who are a blend and they sit on the corners there, and you can see each of the profiles or the characters there up on the screen. We don't have time to dig into depth with those on this call. If you choose to come do training with me, of course we definitely will. Or maybe you will be curious and want to have your own profile done and have a coaching session to really discover what that means and how you apply that and take it forward for yourself or the young people that you have. So that's how it starts, really. It starts with a quick quiz. You go online, enter what's called a token, a little piece of code that allows the young person to take the test. And so working with 2 very distinct age groups from 9 to 16 years old and then 16 to 23. So you've got those high school years with lots of decisions to make at that point. A little knock in confidence for some people transitioning up to high school and then having to choose options and think about careers and college and university and work and entrepreneurship. And, oh my gosh, all that stuff you're bombarded with. And then 16 to 23, transitioning now through education into employment. That might be apprenticeships, traineeships, or the world of work with some education, or even into entrepreneurship as well. So 2 very distinct groups of young people that we're working with. And that can be, and it starts with a conversation. The profile is always the start of a conversation, because you are not that profile that comes out until you tell me, oh my gosh, that's so me. If you don't get that reaction, then we need to explore so we can put you on the right track for you. So that can be a one-to-one coaching conversation with the young people, or could be, if you choose to take the training further or have this in your organisations, one-to-many. So we do a lot of group debriefs and then group programs with young people to help them to discover their true path and potential in life. And they can be themed around different subjects, different topics. Depends what it is that you wanting to achieve, what the outcomes are. Few of the young people that we've worked with different projects throughout the last 4.5 years. Love of Mankind. So you see there, what a really cool mission statement. A cool bunch of young people who work with other young people to build a better future. Give us a penny for our thoughts and you'll get change. So they are a group of young people, 16, 17, 18 years old, formed this philanthropic project in their 6th form to create a business that went out and raised money so that they could help other young people younger than themselves to make a difference in their lives. Very cool bunch of 6th formers. I'm very blessed to get to go and work with them. This is a charity down in Swindon that for the last 8 or 9 years I've done a lot of work with. This is a group of young people in a 4-day residential course. And so they again all got to take their profiles, and throughout the week then began to discover layer by layer what that meant to them as an individual, them in a team, them in the world of work, and how to take that forward and implement it and have a very clear path. Zero to Startup is a very, very awesome project being run in Toronto, in Canada. The vision you can see there, giving young people courage, confidence and skills to take risk, embrace innovation, defy the status quo and create their own future. So this is a 13-week curriculum that began in its original form in the techie industry, using technology to create a sustainable future. So the young people there, 13-week program, extracurricular Saturday afternoon, came and played with technology, got to solve some problems with technology, came up with their own projects, worked on their own projects in teams, and then pitched to the mentors, parents, business people, etc. at the end of that 13 weeks. So you see some of the awesome guys there who completed the first tranche of that. Our brief with that was that every single week they would have business development, entrepreneurship skills, and talent dynamics for young people. And they were all profiled before they began. We're just about to go into, I think it's our third round of 13 weeks curriculums, and this time running side by side, one in the field of technology and one in the field of fashion and design, textiles, so creating sustainable future through fashion and design technology. Then we have been showing up at careers fairs. This is one of many future finest career fairs here in Staffordshire, and to go along and help young people discover their genius during the careers fair so they can get a better steer on where they would most fit into the world of work. You see, they got to do the Genius quiz, they got to have Genius stickers, very cool seeing hundreds of young people with Genius stickers, and creates a lot of curiosity from schools and teachers as well that come and want to find out their own genius and how then can they implement this in their schools. We had the Career Ready programme. The Career or Work Ready programme is actually a 2-day, very intense programme based on talent dynamics for young people, allowing young people to address some of the challenges that employers have levelled at young people. Many of the reports say, well, we just don't trust young people in our workplace. They have no self-awareness. We ask them questions like, what are you good enough and what do you bring to business? And they just have no clue what to say. They don't know how to work in a team. They don't know how to communicate. They don't show up on time. They don't look as if they're coming to work. And so all of those things are what our 2-day intensive career and work ready programs address, including some experience working on a real life project so that they can go to an interview with confidence about who they are, what they're really good at, know how to communicate best, and had some experience as well. Here's a group of our young people that went through that programme, and you can see proudly displaying their certificates there, and they can take their profiles now and put that information into CVs and covering letters and take it with them to an interview so they know what to speak about. Somewhere else where Talent Dynamics for Young People is about to engage in a really exciting project is the YMCA in North Staffordshire. Already we have shared Talent Dynamics with the leadership team. Oh my gosh, they absolutely loved it. The Chief Exec, Danny Flynn, has been absolutely blown away by it. He has found funding to now integrate this into the training for his team, but also simultaneously start to introduce this to the young people who attend the YMCA and the ones who live there too. That's going to be done on a regular basis. It will become part of, this is business as usual. It will be rolled through the whole of the organisation. That's just about to kick off. I have another meeting with Danny on Monday next week, just so we can make sure that our visions are aligned and that we are rolling it out in a way that really meets everybody's needs. So that's very exciting because, of course, the YMCA is not just a national UK organisation, it is an international organisation. So wherever you are in the world, maybe there's some YMCAs near you and we could get to replicate it and roll it out wherever you are. So, and also we had the pleasure of going to South Africa earlier in the year. That was a joint venture with a lady named Sion. Sion called me in about mid-January and said, TJ, you've heard that you do Talent Dynamics for Young People. Our young people in South Africa really, really, really need this. Please, can you come over? We have 80 kids in a classroom with one teacher. She showed me photographs of them like there wasn't even enough room in the classroom for tables and chairs. They were sitting on the floor. Parents are protesting because teachers are not being paid properly. and there's not enough equipment for the kids, and so schools are being closed while the parents protest. Heartbreaking. I was like on a plane. 6 weeks later, I'm in South Africa, and with the arm delivering Discover Your Genius sessions in Pretoria. You see here the kids sitting on the floor in the hall. That day we did a number of half-hour sessions, and we helped about 200 kids that day to discover their genius. And then we went to Port Elizabeth, where we had a little bit longer for the session. We had about 2 hours, and we gave young people, these gorgeous young people. These young people were told, the teachers were there because they told us they'll never sit quiet and listen. They don't pay attention in class. They just talk over it all the time. They've got no concentration. When we did the Discover Your Genius bit, these young people sat for 45 minutes in silence, hanging on every word. The teachers were blown away. We gave them a bit of a mission with Lego, and got them to build some Lego towers, and there were some rules like that. We caused chaos. It was such fun. And so you can see them grabbing their Lego. They had 5 minutes to build the biggest, strongest structures in their little teams, and then we got them to the front to test those structures and see how it went for them. You see them proudly there with their towers. Then they discovered their genius and discovered what it's like to stand in your genius. When you're being who you really are and you're standing in your energy or your colour on that twister mat, well, it's easy, effortless, right? You can stand there all day, it's no problem. But you can see on the second picture on the right-hand side there, when you are trying to live in somebody else's genius or somebody is forcing you to do that, then that is stretching. It takes you off balance. It takes a lot more energy. At some point, you keep people there, they will fall over emotionally, have a nervous breakdown, go off with stress. That is out of flow. So you have to know your genius and live in it to live your happiest, most fulfilled life. Also got to share that with the teachers as well, which was really amazing. And yes, we did get them to play Twister also. So for me, this is like, let's shine the light on these young people and help them to turn the lights on within themselves. I really believe like this is part of the awakening, bringing light to the challenges that they face, like give them some hope. I really believe that this is a great big piece of the puzzle. This is not, I don't believe that I'm going to set the world on fire. Let me just put the record straight with that picture. I do believe, though, that when we ignite the potential and switch our young people on, they definitely can set this world on fire. They are our future business people, entrepreneurs, leaders. More than that, though, parents, role models, ready to bring out that next generation and make sure that they have vision and direction and hope. This is really important. So, as you can hear, I'm a little bit passionate about this. So, what's next? Well, I want to share with you what's next in terms of my vision and direction. I've realised in the last 4 years that I love working with young people and all those things that you've seen me do and continue to do. But I've realised my bigger purpose on this planet is empowering other people to go and work with young people, because that's ripple effect, and together we can reach more young people. So my vision has shifted a little bit in terms of I will always work with young people. Oh my gosh, absolutely. But going forward, my concentration will be on bringing more skills to more people at whatever level. So if you would like to be part of TDYP, or Talent Dynamics for Young People, or making a difference in young people's lives, let me share with you a number of ways you can do that. The first is really easy, just share the word. Maybe you don't want to come and train in Talent Dynamics for Young People. That's absolutely fine. I get that. It's not everybody's calling or business. But even just to go and share the word and tell people about what we're doing, about the opportunities, about working one-on-one with young people where they're struggling or just need an extra bit of direction, and or if you think it would be a great thing to bring into local schools or youth charities or organisations, then please go shout and share the word. go shout and share the word. Or maybe now you're a bit curious and you would like to have your own profile and have a coaching session and discover who you really are, or maybe for your young people. You can absolutely do that. That would be a pleasure to do that personally, or put you in the direction of one of our qualified talent dynamics for young people flow consultants to support you with that. And we can do that face to face. It depends where we are geographically, or we can do it by Skype, or we can do it on the phone. My preference is face to face or Skype, but we can do it on the phone as well. So where there's a will, there's a way with that one. So do let me know if that's something that you would like to do. I'll give you my contact details at the end of this presentation. Maybe you work with young people in an organisation and you'd like to book one of our consultants to come and run a session for either your team or for young people within your organisation, and really get to experience that and the difference that it can make. Again, if you'd like to do that, then do get in touch and I can give you details of the various sessions we can run, anything from 2 hours to a half day to a full day, or the 2-day work ready programs, of course, as well. So there's lots of options and opportunities around that. Maybe like you are a coach already, or you are an aspiring coach, come and be a TDYP coach. We call that a flow consultant level. And that training is a 2-day training that can be done either live face-to-face, or I can do that for you via Skype wherever you are in the world. And we can split the sessions, the 2 days, up into 90-minute chunks or 2-hour chunks with a little bit of breather space in between. We can navigate and negotiate time differences, and we can get you up to speed very quickly out there, making a difference to young people with this tool. Or maybe you're like, no, TJ, I just want to go the whole hog. I'm in hook, line and sinker. I would like to be a trainer, and as in going out and training young people and groups of young people. You can come and do that as well. That's an additional 3 days training. That has to be face to face, because I will take you through the experience of it, as well as you learning it, and give you all the tools and the resources and the experience while you're there to go and run training sessions for young people. How awesome will that be? Love growing our trainer team. And so opportunities to do that, whichever you want to do, like big or small. I would love just for you to be part of our movement in whichever area of that slide there you choose to be. If you would like to come and train, let me share with you the next opportunity to do that is over in the UK at the moment, the 3rd to the 7th of October. That's all booked in. We have people already booked in, paid for and coming. It's going to be at the Liddy Conference Centre, which you can see down there is a beautiful venue, and that's in Swindon. Days 1 and 2 will take you through the coach training, and having people there for you to really practice your coaching skills. And then days 3 to 5, we will then add on to that the additional training that makes it an advanced youth coaching program. So talent dynamics for young people workshops, plus some additional workshops that I love and adore from my world of neuro-linguistic programming and neurostrategies. I'm blessed to teach both of those things, and have integrated them into the residential courses that we've run, so they're very tried and tested. And let me give you a teaser for one of my favourite workshops that I'm going to teach you. Is around identity, and it involves post-it notes, feathers, tin cans and an obstacle course. That was just a teaser, and it does include all those things. So you can come for the first 2 days, either to refresh if you've already trained with us, or to add it to your accreditation if you're already a talent dynamics consultant, or if you're brand new, come learn it all from scratch and really engage and immerse in it. And then stay for the rest of the 3 days. The rest of the 3 days, come and get the whole 5 days training and take it and use it to work with groups of young people. If you're already qualified as a talent dynamics for young person consultant and you just want to come and grab the last 3 days and get all the new stuff, then you have that option as well. But you have to have done days 1 and 2 at some point before you can do days 3 to 5. So I'd love for you to come play for the whole 5 days. Many people already decided to take that option, and it will be a very international group. We've already got people coming from Australia and Canada and the UK and the US at the moment, potentially New Zealand as well. So wherever you are, come join us and network with, like, globally with the people that are here. So again, if you would like more information about the 1 day, the 2 day, 3 day and 5 day options, then please do get in touch with me. Here are my details to make it easy for you to connect with me. tj@backontrackteens.com. Please feel free to email me. You can message me on Facebook. You'll find me, TJ Dow, if you want to connect with me there via Messenger or something. Those are probably the 2 easiest ways to connect. Or you can find me on Skype. tj.dow is my Skype name. So I thank you so much for taking this time out of your day to listen in and to hear what's going on in the world of making a difference with young people. I'm really, really excited about the visions going forward. I've got something in the pipeline that I cannot even share with you at the moment because it just is, like, so exciting. I have to get all my ducks in a row before I can shout about it. But it's going to revolutionise what we're doing. That's all I'm saying as a teaser. So I look forward to hearing from you. Should you want to just comment on the webinar, give me your thoughts, ideas, tell me what you think about what we're doing, or if you really want to come and train with us, do connect with me and I can arrange to Skype with you to give you more details and find out which track is the right track for you. So once again, thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and I hope I get to speak with you soon. Take care.